Hey guys, it's Charlie. Forgive me for my red appearance and my stuffed up sound. I have a very bad sinus infection, and I wasn't going to make a video today, but I'm going through some of the headlines that I'm pulling from my website, and I felt it very important to A, do the radio show tonight, and B, put out a video because people have been asking me for over 2 years now. When's the collapse going to happen? I've been saying it's already occurred. We just don't realize it yet. We've had 2 years of gimmicks. A $1 trillion stimulus package that was for, and by special interest. We've had cash for clunkers, cash for calkers, first-time homebuyer credits. All these things, all they managed to do was, extend and pretend, to paper over and to pretend that the pain isn't there and it isn't going to come. Well, guess what? Now it's going to hit home. It's going to get blamed on everything else, but the real reason that it happened, it's going to get blamed on a bunch of Islamic fundamentalists in the Middle East causing the price of oil to shoot to $100, $200, $300 a barrel. It's going to get blamed on strife in other countries for silver to go to $50, $60, $70 an ounce. Same thing with gold going up to $2,000 an ounce. These things are all going to get blamed on everything but the cause of what brought us to where we are right here and now. For over 2 years, I've been saying the collapse is underway. We're not going to realize it. Most Americans are not going to realize it. Most Westerners are not going to acknowledge it until they open their door and it hits them in the face. Well, that time is now. The rubber meets the road starting this very day. I'm 100% convinced of that. When I look at the headlines out of Libya, where the government that we've been propping up ever since they became a partner in the war on terror has decided to employ fighter jets against its own citizens, to the point where some of the fighter jets flew off to other countries because they refused to do it. But when that kind of hard tyranny is evident, and that kind of country can affect 20% of the world's energy supply, and you see oil companies bailing out of that region of the world, and you see the futures in oil shooting past $100 a barrel since the highs of 2008, it tells me one thing. We're looking at food commodities soaring through the roofs, in some cases over 100% in the last year. We're looking at oil going to 2008 levels again, soon, in my opinion, to shoot far past that. Back then we had $30 trillion plus less in debt than we do right now. All this debt was spent in the name of saving this economy, and all it has done is saved a few key elite Wall Street banksters and banksters in the city of London and around this world. It's saved them from their own failure. It's put their failure on the backs of the people of the world, and now we're going to feel the effects of it. My message is simple. If you haven't prepared, you know what? I don't even know if you have time. I mean, here's the deal. If you have a job and you can go buy food right now today, if you're walking into your store, you already realize your grocer or your person you speak to at the supermarket is telling you food prices are going up. If they haven't, the mainstream media is actually catching on to the fact now that we're going to be looking at skyrocketing food prices in this country. These high prices in food are truly what's causing the unrest around the world. The high prices to fill your belly is what's causing the Egyptians to riot, causing the people in Libya to riot. The absolute utter failure of their governments to represent the people of those nations has led to them being hungry, and they're pushing back. That is coming to this country. If you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. It is coming to this country. It's starting out in Wisconsin. These people are out in the streets protesting by the tens of thousands right now because the government is telling them what they can and can't do with negotiating their contracts. When it becomes a matter of they can't afford to put food on their table because we're having a 100% increase inside of a year in their food bill, well, the pushback is going to look a little different than it does in Wisconsin right now, and it's going to look a whole lot more like it does in Libya and Egypt. Stories are attached. That's all I got. And I'm telling you what, guys, that isn't all I got. I've never come out in a video and said that this is it. This is the collapse. But I'm saying it now. This is it. The world is coming apart by the actions of a bunch of central banksters. They've tried to cover it up. They've tried to pretend it isn't their fault. They've tried to pretend the world economy is getting better. And a lot of people fell for their con game. But guess what? It's going to hit, the rubber is going to hit the road no matter where you're at listening to this video. The price of everyday items you need to live are about to skyrocket. The price of the energy that you consume is about to skyrocket. The blame game is about to happen. please keep one thing in mind. Before you turn to your neighbor and decide that it's their fault that your house is falling in value, before you turn to the guy who's been on unemployment for 99 weeks and you blame him for the condition of this economy, before you look at a state worker or a government worker and decide it's this guy's fault that our economy is falling apart, that is not true, plain and simple. The mainstream media, the politicians that represent the folks on Wall Street, the banksters of the world, they want you to fight over that. They want you to believe that it's the other guy's fault. But in reality, it is your government who has betrayed you, your government who is representing the interest of bankers, and their failure is what led to where we are right here and now. Not your neighbors, not your fellow citizen. Your government, who is not representing you, but representing special interest, is what led you to where you're at right now, is what has led to the food prices shooting through the roof, what's leading energy prices that are going to shoot through the roof. This is all the fault of greed and corruption in D.C. and Wall Street, plain and simple. Stories are attached, that's all I got.